making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew ha-ha, Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen?
All right, everyone,
to
thanks so much for listening to
episode.
BrewHaha with Sean McDonald, Cold Street Brewery, talking all things brews and
All right, yeah, the fade in.
Man, what a voice! That voice is insane. And give this one a shot. Wouldn't you like just get it? Listen away. See, I don't even know how to my own songs.
Yeah, you don't even know your own words. All right,
Well,
anyway,
okay,
welcome
so-
to BrewHaha. This is Sean McDonald, owner of Cold Street Brewery. I'm alongside Travis Kenny from Full Buddy Cast. This is our BrewHaha once a week. Every Monday we come out and we talk beers and brew. And
Oh yeah, good
and
stuff.
Travis tries to throw in some haha.
What a good intro.
I feel like I'm funnier than he is.
You are actually way funnier looking.
Looking.
Got you. Hey, little quick inside tip for all those people that listen to this. That song that you heard, I sang. I didn't even write down the lyrics on that. That was the third take where I was just going off of my own
Heater. So good.
memory and going what is it that's what's gonna rhyme? I didn't even write anything down. It's off the top of the dizome, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so tell me something funny off the top of the dizzle.
All right, here's a good one. You want to hear something funny? It's a knock knock joke. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, you
Go.
say knock knock.
knock knock.
Who's there? See, that's it. You laughed.
Yo, okay.
Zing.
Zing.
Be here all day because I live here. Hey, so
you.
we did a live recording about 2 weeks ago. That's what you've heard the past 2 Mondays. While Sean gets the beer going, beer of the week, I just wanted to just kind of quick recap on that. A lot of fun, learning some things as well. So if we missed you, I thought it was going to be like every week therapy, but we are going to shoot to do it once a month, as much as freaking phases are available to us. If we can do the phase stuff, got to do it right.
Yeah, because we are looking. This is May, and so this will come out May 1st, May 3rd.
Yeah.
They're talking like May 4th, there's definitely a rollback in Pierce County. There might be a rollback in King County as well.
So as we navigate through this pandemic together, just as we've done the past year, we will figure out ways of making it fun and doing this all for you. And then just wanted to also did some learnings, right? Learned some things. 6:30 p.m., 6 p.m. maybe too early. 6:30 might be the way to go, so people can get their lunch, or not their lunch, get their dinners, get their babysitter, and then come on down kind of
Just
thing.
don't forget we got food at the Courier Building.
Yeah.
We can get you dinner.
We can get you dinner, and that
Dinner and a show. Come
Dinner
down
and
and
show.
watch the show.
And the cool thing is that we kind of like collected some people that were just coming in also for some just
Right.
drinks, and they ended up participating. No one came up, but they were laughing and they were having a good time. So
Walking by and they're like looking through the windows.
yeah,
and like,
what's going on?
going on?
What's going on? So, and also I'm a big guy for bringing people up and talking. Sometimes I overtalk Sean. Sean may not get as much brew in that type of a conversation, but
I start the episode about brew, and then I sit back and drink brew. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm off shift. Somebody else is working. So I have to
exactly,
drink.
exactly. What are we drinking right now, Sean?
All right, so I like to expand my menu all the time, and I've always been looking for ciders, right? And I have quite a few ciders on, in cans at my spot, at both of my spots, and but I don't like doing what everybody else does. So I've had a couple people come in like, oh yeah, I had that over at such and such. I'm like, I've tried to source
Right.
like local or smaller people. The problem is, there's not a whole lot of people that are doing the cider. So this one is from Wenatchee. So it's not in our area, but it's still in our state. And it's a small family farm. So they farm all of these apples and then they produce it. It's Union Hill Cidery Company. They're, like I said, it's not quite Wenatchee. It's like a little south, like, whatever that little small town is right before that, but basically on the south side of Wenatchee. And what we're drinking right now is the other reason why I bring on the ciders is a lot of people have to be gluten free, but they still like the beer.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get something that's close to that. So they're hopped and hazy. So it's hopped up. It's got some hops in it to make it kind of have that beer feel to it.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of the hazy. So they clattered it up.
They clattered it up a little bit. It almost tastes a little bit like a sour, just a tad.
Well,
just
that's kind of because of the apples that they're using. They're using the Crips Pink, which is kind of a really tart.
Ooh, I like the
berry.
Bloods Pink a little bit more. We say Crips or Crisp?
Crisp. No.
You say Crips.
Crips. It is Crips Pink.
I like the Blood.
Mm.
We don't see colors here. Hey, so
real dry.
Real quick on that, guys. As you guys are drinking and having these types of cider sours, one main thing that Sean has taught me, he said it on a previous podcast, and I actually shared it with Homer Robertson and Mark Herbert Schmidt. Mark brought some sours in for us to enjoy while we were drinking and recording and
drinking.
And that is like, don't go off the first sip. You got to set the palate right. Sean said this last time. He said, at least get 3 sips in, swish around a little bit maybe, just to get the whole mouth ready for more sour drinks.
And progressively get a deeper sip. So the first sip should be like a quick little sip. The second one's a little bit longer. The third one's like a longer one. And then you're actually tasting it. So your palate has to adjust. Because this is, it's apple juice. So it has some sweetness to it.
Yeah.
But adding the hops to it kind of balances out that bitterness to sweetness.
Yeah. So, got to get that full sip in, get that hoppiness.
Just the palate, so you can really take all the different levels of the flavor in. It also depends on what you've been eating or what you've been drinking prior to this. That's honest. Oh, that's another funny thing is the best time to actually go through and sample as a brewer, as somebody that runs a winery or whatever. The best time is first thing in the morning. Don't brush your teeth. Get out of bed, roll out there, roll into the brewery, and just go from tank to tank to tank and try everything. Your palate is at its best, absolute best, right? First thing in the morning because it's kind of reset overnight. And then, you're trying stuff like it's the first thing of the day. And there's nothing that's influencing it in a different way. Like you haven't had coffee. There's not that. You haven't had, a donut there's no sugar. There's nothing that's really influencing it in one way or the other.
Yeah.
You're getting at a baseline.
Gotcha. Hey, I don't know when what you want to start off. I know we got the beer of the week going right now. Do you have anything on tap?
New on tap. The strawberry is back. I don't think I've talked about that. The strawberry blonde. I've done that before.
It's delicious. Had it last summer.
It's really crisp. I love it. Going next door and getting the prawn Louis from the Rainier. I mean, I feel like that fishy and then the strawberry just go together great. It's a great springtime flavor. That's really the only thing that's new on tap right now. I'm honestly just trying to keep up, trying to get everything ready because, in 28 days, the original brewery location will be open back up. So I'm working on a lot of physical stuff.
Getting it ready.
Yeah.
Getting it ready.
The beer is just getting maintained.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, so they can go in there and grab that there.
Yeah,
Cool.
And that's why I brought in for our beer of the week. I brought in ciders that we've gotten from a local cidery.
Nice.
Brand new people. I'm bringing it in here, trying to get Travis's kind of opinion on it.
Okay, so I like
that he's not really a cider person, so
I'm not the most cider person, but I do enjoy a nice cider. It was actually the thing that kind of got me into where I thought I was drinking real beers, if that makes sense. I went from like Bud Light and someone was like, hey, you should try this cider I brewed. And so then I started that. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm actually drinking like an actual beer kind of. But
it's a wine.
At the time, I didn't know all this. I was a very guy who didn't know much about brewing.
Yeah, if
or
you take a
breweries,
fruit
so.
or if you take a berry and you make it into alcohol, then it would be wine. If you take something that has grain and you make it into alcohol, that would be beer. And then obviously I have some fruity beers. I have
This is
blackberry.
brine.
Well, brine, no, brine's different. Brine is a little bit more of the vinegar type to it. So it cuts in, gets into the meat. I have been thinking about doing a brine, like a side project of brine.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be fun to see.
People use brine a lot. So.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like at the bottom of a fermenter. Like I don't like to get mixed into the yeast. So, I cut it off and I still have, a couple gallons of perfectly fine beer. It's just, you have to take like a cup and cup it out. So putting that into a brine, the yeast wouldn't affect the brine in any way. So it's one of those secondary bonuses to
bonus round.
Yeah, but it's also the extra effort. Like,
we're going to talk about that here in a second, about the extra effort. And sometimes when you're a one-man show or you might have a few staff, but it gets to a point where it's like, you got to
trying to manage
sacrifice,
triage.
If you take, triage.
I always call it triage.
It's a good call.
I tie off this arm because this other arm is bleeding more importantly.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we'll talk about that here as we jump into this. But for me, when it comes to like podcasting, I've got, by the way, what was that cider called? I'm going to give that like a out of 10.
So that was called
that's
hopped and hazy. So
like
it had hops in it. So
far, it's my favorite one. It's like
one out of one.
It's like a 7.8 out of 10 for me on it. It's not bad. I like it.
It's not that high. It's 7.8. Holy shit! It's 7.8 ABV. Good call, Trav. You read the label.
I'm just really good at this. But when I'm at, doing a podcast,
doesn't sound better. Oof. It sounds so good going in the glass. This one smells better too.
Doing a podcast, like I've got to post it. First I got to record it, but before that I got to get a guest, and then I got to like line up my guests, and then I got to cut time out, and then I got to then I got to record. Then I got to edit. Then I got to post.
Let's pause on that. So then when you record, there's different things that pop up. Like this recording, we've had to stop a couple of times to do some maintenance things that it's just not working.
Right. Just to get it.
Thankfully, it does it before we record for like an hour. And then it goes, oh, crap, that didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not fun. And then you got to throw on, okay, well, I've also got to edit. And so I try to do multiple things at once. I have to. If I did everything and like, okay, once I do this, then I'll set this down and do that, I wouldn't get anything done. So while I'm listening to, that was a good burp.
It was not.
It was
not going to sound very good.
It's going to sound good for people. Once I get done listening to, or once I get done recording, then I'm going to start listening to it. When I start listening to it, at that point, then I'll jump on Facebook. Or at that point, then I'll start working on artwork. Or I'll start even having a little piece of paper next to me so I know that, okay, we talked about this. I can write that down and I can put that in the description. And so I've got other things going on. I'm texting other people. I'm messaging other people. Hey, when do you want to be on? What can I do? Posting on Facebook, putting it on Spotify, putting it on Instagram. So I have to have like multiple things. I have to do like, yeah.
So for me, it's the small business owner mentality. Like there's only a certain type of person that can be able to do that many things, because there's all kinds of things that you give up in doing that.
Right.
You're not taking vacations. You're not going to that. I've gotten invited multiple times to go to a wedding in Hawaii, and I'm like, hey, have a great,
Me too, man.
have fun, but
oh yeah, Hawaii,
not ever,
once a week.
Not ever gonna make that. Thanks
Once
for
a
the
week.
invite. So I mean, it's a cheap invite. So the person that says that they're paying me $100 or paying for me to be there, I'll probably be there.
And that, I would say that's also kind of a hard thing too, as you're saying this, is like when people, I remember Andy Cardenas, we've talked about this on the podcast before with him, where you might be right. You got your Excel spreadsheet pulled up on your computer. It's a little dead.
Yep.
You've got your paperwork in front of you. All of a sudden people start coming through. They're your Patreons, not Patreons, but patrons.
Yeah.
They're the ones that come through and they like Get your beer.
It's hard. You don't want to chase off the business, but that happened to me today. I mean, I'm sitting in the brewery. I'm trying to do paperwork, and I have like a 5-step system where I have to go take this to move to that, to move to this, to move to that. And it's a lot of like, you have to get your head wrapped around it. And then somebody walks in and it kind of breaks that whole thought process. So then you have to start back at one. And it's like, you don't want to complain that you're getting business, but
exactly.
But my blinds are closed. My door is only unlocked so that so the delivery people can deliver stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, and
people come in and that happens and we like it. You know, for me,
I love it. You know,
but at the same time, it's like it's a triage. You're trading one thing for the other.
Yeah.
And especially, I think you and I are people persons where we like to talk. We like to listen.
Yeah.
You know, we like to encourage.
I don't like to half being
Yeah.
attentive. I want to be 100%.
And we've all been there where you talk to someone and they're on their phone, staring at their phone, and then you kind of feel like you might be kind of like a nuisance. Right. And then you're like, these guys don't care about me. And yeah, it's a hard thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any TVs too.
No TVs.
No TVs. That way, conversation is a true thing. True conversation.
That's good. That's good. It actually is. I went down there the other night, walked through. I just was like, you know what? Night off. Usually, Jamie will have dinner. People say, oh, you're always down there. Well, I'm down there when I can be. It may seem like
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. When I can be. It's usually when Jamie's going to bed. You know, she had a rough day. She got to work in the morning. So it's like, well, we're not going to hang out anyways. And then I'll just go mosey on down there. And then I'll hang out and talk with people. It's a good place to walk in and run into people. It's especially with how things are set up. And if you haven't been down there for I'd say, if you haven't been down there even 2 months ago, I've been down there, I checked it out. No,
it's definitely changing.
It's
We're
definitely
evolving.
changing. Yeah,
the rules are changing, so we're changing a
lot more table seating, a lot more little pod areas where you can sit and talk. So if you know a lot of people, that you can just like jump from conversation to conversation, go have a beer with these people for about 10, 15, 20 minutes.
For sure.
Go to another
Wander through, have a conversation.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
That's why I like bringing on new staff, so I can kind of do the same thing. That's kind of like what I like to do.
Yeah.
Drink a beer and wander around and talk beer with some, neighbors.
Sure.
That become friends.
Now, I want to talk about that too.
Hey, thanks for taking a quick break with me. I've been kicking around this idea for quite a while. If you're interested, that's great. If not, maybe one day. And that's it. One day. One day you're going to want to hear your loved one's voice again. One day you're going to want to hear that story one more time. I've heard a lot of people when they are missing someone, they have the photographs, they maybe even have some video footage from their cell phone, but they don't have that audio, that crystal clear, as if you're talking to them on the phone or having them in the living room, where you can just pop the earbuds in, listen to their voice one more time. So here's what I'm offering. Come in, you'll sit with me. Just tell me what you want to talk about. And this isn't an episode where I just dominate the conversation. This is where you get to take control of what you want to talk about. It could be stories. It could be that maybe you want to just leave this for your great-grandchildren or your kids or your wife or your husband. Something to where anything were to happen, if they're ever missing you, because, hey, one day, right? They're going to want to listen to that voice again. One day. They're going to want to pop that in and hear that awesome story. So hit me up about this. It's $25 a half an hour. That includes editing. Typically, the turnaround time is a couple days. We'll set up a time, come down, go as long as you want. I'll edit it up a little bit, email you the MP3 document. Now, yeah, could you do this at home on your own tape recorder? Sure. But is it going to have the quality? Are you going to get that MP3 format that you can email your friends and your family? Do a Christmas greeting. Do a birthday greeting. Just tell stories. Is it your anniversary coming up? You want to talk about the time you guys met from your side? Tell your kids. There's so many ways that you could sit down and just have that conversation. Right now, again, this is the beginning stages, so that's why it's a little bit cheaper, $25 a half an hour, and that does include editing. So if it takes a half hour to edit, there's $25 there. So let's say it's an amazing episode. Let's say you really like it. Let's say you want to share it to the people. Well, you got two choices. You now have an MP3 format where you have it for yourself, and then you can start your own podcast. This doesn't have any association affiliation with Full Buddy Cast, you're just using the equipment. Or if you want this to go on Full Buddy Cast, because I have people hitting me up all the time. Oh, I would get the ratings. I would get the ratings. I would get the ratings. And yeah, if it's an awesome show, of course, we'll talk about airing it. I'm cool with that. So if you want to come on down, let's get you in here. Hit me up, message me, DM me. I'm super interested in try this out. Hit me up one day.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Well, the friends
Walking through.
when
Neighbors that become friends.
I guess at this point, maybe I'm comparing podcasts to owning your own brewery. When I started the podcast,
Both of them have a lot of drinking.
a full buddy cast, I was thinking I'm gonna have all my buddies on, and then my buddies are gonna listen to it. Well, it turned out that as this has grown, my buddies do not listen to it.
I know that's I don't know. I'm kind of on the same page. Like a
few will, right? I mean, it's not,
I have a lot of friends, right?
Yeah.
That I grew up with and I've done a lot of things with. But honestly, I have some really great friends, really close friends that still come on a weekly basis.
right.
But in the grand scheme of things, like majority of the people that I'm friends with at my brewery now are not people that I was friends with prior to owning the brewery.
Exactly.
It's like I made friends,
Right.
And it's not because I own a brewery. It's just because
but it's just
hanging out with
it's
them.
a hangout place and they can support you, and that's kind of how it is with the Full Buddy Cast thing, where there's friends that I've had that they kind of came back into my life because of it, and we talk more about it. There's a mutual interest. Go ahead, let me sip this one.
I'm moving on to the third one. Sorry, Travis is drinking a little slow, but I wanted to.
This is my new favorite. Oh, that's good. That's me peeing.
It does sound good.
That sounds great. So,
This is the Cosmic. This is the apple that was Wazoo apple.
ooh, the Wazoo apple,
Yeah,
Cosmic Creator
No.
Encounter, Cosmic Rosé.
Well, that's the name of the cider. The apple is the Cosmic. I think it's just the Cosmic.
Is it the blood?
No.
Okay, so anyway, what I wanted to say is that it's funny how you kind of collect. Now, what I've also heard from people is why does Travis Kenny have a podcast? Why does Travis Kenny have a podcast? What would he ever? It's like I can be funny. I can be funny in the living room. I can be funny with them. Funny looking. I can talk with people. But then it's like, whoa, you're stepping out into this realm. You're not. You shouldn't be doing that.
You're not famous enough.
And I'm not. You think I'm trying to be Joe Rogan? That guy freaking was on TV. That guy was freaking a comedian forever. The guy's been in the UFC since the beginning of Dawn. Like this dude is like. I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan. The guy had. I'm not trying to be the Joe Rogan of Enumclaw. I'm just looking to just have fun, do my hobby, make people laugh, entertain people, and that's it, And so for you, when you were brewing at home, and you were probably known as, I think you've even mentioned this in the previous pod, growing up, where it's like, yeah, you were like kind of the guy that knew how to make wine in high school.
I'm always the guy that had the wine. Like,
yeah,
hey, if you need to go out and get, we want to get saucy this weekend. Well, we can't bootleg. Like, we haven't got anything. You can always get in touch with Sean. He's got some wine somewhere, some beer somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you start home brewing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then at that point you start to move into going.
Honestly, it was kind of good that those people were asking for that, because then I can work on my craft. So those people really didn't care what it tasted like, so I could perfect my recipes. Every time it was a bad recipe, like, oh yeah, here you go. Versus a good recipe, I'm holding it back and actually, giving it to people that, I care what they're drinking.
So then did you have anyone hate you? Like, ooh, what's Sean doing this for?
I don't think I've ever had anybody that's hated me. I'm a pretty likable guy.
Like hated on you for opening your own brewery or doing your own brewery or getting involved in the brewery. It's like, whoa, easy, buddy. You can be the guy that does this at home.
Yeah,
but why?
That is, yeah. So early on, there were. I mean, even to this day, there's some people that are from my past that run into me and they're like, "Oh, this is your spot? Oh yeah. Oh man, are you doing okay? Is this gonna make it?" I'm like, at this point, like I made it through COVID. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm
probably gonna make it.
Yeah. But yeah, early on, it was kind of one of those like, oh wow, yeah. I mean, I guess you have always had beer and wine. You've always done that. I mean, I just never imagined that somebody could actually take like something like that and make a business out of it. And then I get the hate on early on. I don't get it anymore, but I get the hate early on. It's like, well, what do you do with your life? All you're doing is drinking all the time. Like, well, I mean, my profession does dictate that I need to try to, like we're doing tonight.
Right.
I brought these ciders in because I'm planning on putting them down at the brewery. But I can't just put something I don't know what it is.
Right.
Like I can't describe it. I can't talk to somebody about it without drinking it. So yeah, I do tend to drink quite a bit of different stuff because my mind's always working. I'm trying something. I'm like, oh, how can I make that? How can I make that better?
Does it inspire you when you try these beers? Where you're just like,
absolutely. It always opens up my mind of like, how did they do that? Yeah. And that's why I enjoy doing it.
Are there any times where your brain is just shut off? Like, let's say you're hiking or you're hunting, and
like a fishing trip maybe. But even at the same time, I run into stuff on a boat, and like somebody gives me a beer. I'm like, oh, I never heard this beer. Where did this come from? All right,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I don't know. I think that's like we were talking before, like the small business. As a small business owner, your mind is always working.
Always going.
You see something, I see a cloud, and I'm like, oh wow, that reminds me of this. I can make a sticker out of that. I can make a something cool. Like the sea moving and the clouds on the horizon, and then put my logo right in the middle of it. Like, hey, are you thirsty? Because I am. Or
it's so funny because and we're going to talk about this. Well, let's talk about it now. We've been playing cornhole, and we'll get into the cornhole in a second. But like, people have like their own cornhole, like beanbag chair or beanbag, not chairs, but beanbags or whatever. What do they call those?
Yeah, they're bags.
Bags.
They're bags, and there's all kinds of different levels.
It's crazy. I thought it was just like
we walked into that like I don't know about you, but I've been playing cornhole for at least 10 years, right?
I play at my neighbor's house, stuff like that. But
neighbor's
not
friend's house. Like every year we do fantasy football draft, and at our draft we have like a big cornhole competition. We've been doing that forever. I don't even know how long. Like a long time. A lot of my friends have made their own boards. I go to this thing and they start learning that the boards aren't really like they have to be a different way, and you're like, what? And then these guys, they have all these, like these guys walk in with, I don't know, 60 different bags. And you're like, why do you have so many different bags? Well, if this guy's a slider, I need something that's a sticker that sticks in front. There's like all these strategies that I just grab a bag and wing it.
One side is a little rougher, one side is a little smoother, so that you can while you're doing it,
sticks,
you can figure out how you want to do it. And so, but then we're sitting there like, hey, we should get Cold Street ones. Like we should, like, like you think, not saying that's going to happen, but your brain is like always thinking like, how can I
brand myself,
this and make it fun and get this out there? It's like, it may not be only that you're trying to, I'm going to make a lot of money on bags. No, but these people buy them and they take them to their barbecue, their friend's barbecue.
Somebody sees it. Walking advertising.
It's an advertisement. Yeah. So you're not looking to like, I'm going to make all the money off this merch.
It's one of the, people spend millions of dollars to put your stuff on TV versus I spend, I don't know, a couple $100 on beanbags. And I feel like in my community, I hit my community just as much.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's a year round thing, because it'll be probably put away for the winter, but then it's going to come right back out the next summer. It's not something that's going to go away. So anyway, we've been playing cornhole.
Oh, we're getting into this now.
Let's get into cornhole.
Okay.
And how terrible you are at it.
Travis is super competitive. And I'm not saying that I'm not competitive, but I went into this going, I really don't care. And then Trav gets so tight.
The funny thing is, wait, time out real quick. We'll go into that in a second. I have been dialing it back. That's crazy to me that you would even
dialing it back.
I was dialing it back.
He's super. Oh man, you can see the look on it. I didn't make it.
That's so funny.
And don't get me wrong, I am a very competitive person. I, just by nature. But when it comes to something that I really don't know, I've really never done before, I walk in with an open mind, and plus the beer was flowing just fine. So I just have a couple of beers and I'm like, chit chat. And honestly, I feel like my better role. It's funny that Travis always talks about he's the talker. He does all these podcasts and stuff.
Sean does. But, actually, you're pretty good at it.
But yeah, at cornhole, I'm kind of better to get people off their game at just kind of just poking fun or like poking fun at myself or making jokes, and then it totally distracts them. Like when they're laughing in their back throw and then they try and throw.
Dude, Sean's notorious for throwing people off. Like he's gonna throw next. Like he'll like this like little shoulder like move real quick. He won't throw it, but the other guy's thinking he's gonna throw it and throw it.
Well, I start that with like they throw and I throw as soon as their hand releases.
Yes.
So I just gotta. It has to land after theirs lands, but other than that, it's legal. And I just to be clear, I picked that up from Craig. I mean, Craig Bentley is the notorious for doing that same thing.
Yeah, Craig is if it can annoy you and he can have fun with it and also beat you at it, he's going to do it every time.
Yep.
Craig Bentley, Garage Night Friday mornings. Anyways, so with him though, with Sean, you can tell this dude used to pitch like fast pitch, like softball, not fast pitch, like chick fast pitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like softball, fast throw. Not a. Did you have a lot of? I've never seen you play, but do you have a lot of loft when you pitch?
I rotate between the two, and that's the same with the. I mean, I can go up and go down.
Yeah.
I'm more successful with like a low quick because I put more spin on the ball. My fork ball is like the best pitch, and it makes people
in the
foul
history
off.
of life.
Makes people foul off, and you only get 2 fouls in softball currently. So I just strike people out in that way.
Just strike them out now. And we're going to shout out to Johnny White. Johnny White wants to come on one of these times.
Do it.
I'd love to have you and Johnny White on.
I love Johnny.
Yeah, sit there and talk.
Except he's really big.
We'll fit him in this room somehow. And not big in he's
super tall.
He's tall and he's built. He's a little built, So he's not. When you say big, he's not like 600 pounds coming into this place.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Gotta be careful, dude. I said that one time to a mom that I knew, and her kid was like 2 years old but looked 5, and I said, "Well, your kid is big," and she's like, "Well, yeah, I guess he is kind of heavy," but I'm like, no, I mean like he's tall. He's tall. He's a giant child. Yeah. I wasn't meaning he's fat. So you got to be careful on some of that stuff.
Yeah, Johnny is not fat.
Johnny's not fat.
Not in the least bit. He's built.
He's built. But anyway, we'll bring him on here and talk pitching. But when it comes to Sean, he will either slide that, like he'll have zero arc, and it'll hit that board at like 100 miles per hour and either hit it right in the center or slide right off and hit somebody in the face.
Well, a lot of those times I'm also trying to knock off theirs too. I mean,
that's true.
I'm pretty good at knocking people's off.
Yeah.
That's why you change the arc.
Or smashing the board, and breaking the board in half. If you can't
and
beat them,
you put the
break
spin
the board.
On. It's kind of like Trav's got to learn how to spin the bag.
I know.
If you had a better spin on the bag, it
would land and stay.
Right?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if you want to get in the pitching side of that, that's the different spots you're trying to hit. So I hit my spot, and I'm using something that's effective for that spot. So like when I'm low and fast, I'm trying to knock something off. Or I'm trying to do like a slide straight into the hole sort of thing versus adding the loft and trying to stop and sit on it.
You love sitting on it. And
your face.
Oh, gross. That's disgusting. I don't know what he meant by that. But anyway, yeah. So we've been having fun Wednesday nights doing that. You had a partner this time. I bailed on you this last Wednesday because I was like,
so
I got other stuff going on.
So I ran into a friend of mine. The guy walks in. I'm like, I know this guy, Tyler Ashbeck. We used to play 5-on-5 flag football together. We also played a little bit of softball together. So once a teammate, always a teammate. It's kind of awesome. Haven't seen him in I don't know. So I asked him. So he has 2 children, and I remember the last time I saw him, his wife was pregnant. So his oldest child is 7 years old. So I haven't seen him in 7 years.
Wow.
7 years. I don't know. So minus a couple months.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I think you're 20.
Yeah.
Probably exactly 27 and a half, right?
Yeah. When I was 20. Yeah. When
20 years old.
We were doing tournaments like every weekend and going to Vegas and all that stuff.
Don't talk about Vegas right now. I'm jazzed to go. Keep going.
Vegas.
Don't say it.
But anyway, yeah. So Tyler walks in, and he and I, as teammates, man, we just killed it. Travis and I have been struggling as teammates.
Oh, man.
But Tyler comes in and he picks up. He's yang for the yang.
I don't think we've won a game. Well, no, we won a game. We didn't win a match.
Yeah, we won a game. We didn't
We
win a
blew
match.
those guys' minds too.
I played 2 matches with Tyler and we won both of them.
Both matches.
Both matches. Yeah.
That's
the one
dumb.
we had to go the distance. We played. It's best 2 out of 3, and we had to play all 3. And the second one we went 2-0. So.
Are you?
So Tyler and I are currently.
Did you guys have any plans for next week? Am I out?
4-1.
Am I out on next Wednesday?
The league's over, buddy.
It is really.
It is, yeah.
It's like a 1-month league.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They're gonna move it downtown. So I'm kind of working together with this other guy. So the problem with that match, and we ran into this too, is like we're playing against people that are like really good at it.
Really good.
Like they're wearing jerseys, and like I said, they bring in these
Breathe Right jerseys, like ones that it's like
and they bring in these duffel bags that have 60 different bags. They have all these different, and you're like, wow, yeah, I'm backyard league.
right.
So I'm working with this guy, and we're going to start kind of a backyard type league. And we're going to start it downtown, like underneath the new tent that's across the street from Cole Street, across the street from 1627 Cole Street. So it's the city kind of owns that tent and that big open lot. We're going to start trying to do that on like a Thursday night. We're going to start hopefully mid-May and then carry it through the summer. So obviously it's kind of a league thing, so you kind of got to sign up for it, but we're going to probably do like some like add-ons. So if you come down and you see it and you'd want to play and you don't have to be good, we're going to definitely, we're not turning away good people,
Right.
but we're just going to set up kind of like a handicap system. So if you are good,
Come on down.
you got to
Figure it out.
You got to give up like five
Oh,
score,
I
5 points to start.
Like
Something
a
that.
golf handicap kind of a thing for
so,
other people.
So the people that aren't as good, they still have a running chance,
I like that.
Yeah.
Anything more on that or events in general you want to talk about? Because I know they usually do first week of.
Events in general, like this Wednesday, I'm going to have comedy night.
So in 2 days.
Yeah, on Cinco de Mayo, the May 5th. It's going to be kind of a different show. So I have the 3 comedians that I always have. I have my my host, who's kind of like a up and coming, has some stuff. My middle one is more like local Seattle, Tacoma, and then my third one's traveling. And I know this lady; she's good. Like, I swear to God, she doesn't say anything that's not funny. She is a funny lady. But also we're gonna mix in some local guys.
Oh,
Some
cool!
local
I'm on.
people.
Sweet, excellent. That's exciting.
No, you're on. Because the idea being is we're probably like into the summertime. We're thinking about doing kind of open mic night, right?
Yeah. All right. Sweet. So I'm back in on that one.
You're back in on that one.
Can I host that maybe? Hey guys, I want you to comment when you listen to this
Think
thing.
about
When you listen to this thing, comment and say, "Hey."
Ask him to tell you something funny.
No, don't say
and
that.
Then maybe
Say, hey, I'm in if Travis is going to host it, or I'm also in on the next comedy show if Travis is going to be a part of it somehow.
So the open mic, what we're gonna do with that is
Comment it right now. Stop the recording and comment it right now.
So at 2551 is where we're gonna host our open mic nights. So I've always had this kickback where comedians, they're not used to such an early hour.
Yeah.
I start at 7:00 and like 7:00. That's like I'm barely getting out of bed by then. So our open mic is gonna be a little bit later. It's going to be at the brewery, so it's a little more quieter space. And basically, if nobody's showing up to do it, we're going to kind of shut it down, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we have so many like local people.
We
that
do.
just want
So
practice.
As someone that used to do open mic, have you been to an open mic before?
I have.
Okay. The main thing about that is just keeping it fair for all. Like if it starts to grow, start putting a thing. Hey, you're standing there. You're watching them sign up. They can pick their spot. Best prime spots like 4 or 5, because that means that you're not the first one on. People are getting loosened up. You're also not there. They're not there. You're probably hitting it when there's probably like been there for a half an hour, 35 minutes.
They aren't bored yet.
They're not bored yet. Yeah,
But they're getting a little.
You're getting
liquor in them.
12th, 18th. That sucks. And so, but that when I would used to do it over at the Tacoma Comedy Club, they'd have people that would just sign up all their buddies all at once. So they'd get in line, and then they'd get their prime spot, which is understandable. They're the first ones in line. And then they get their buddy would get the next prime. I would be like fourth in line, and I'd be getting either the first spot or like the 19th and 20th spot because everyone would sign their friends up. Yeah. So do what you can. Do what you can.
Yeah, I'll work through it. I'll just be happy if we get to 20 people.
Oh, we'll get there. We will get there. We'll make this the prime spot.
I do have a lot of people that come through town that we've had in the past, and they always like a spot that they can come and take their new material and just kind of throw it on the wall, spaghetti on the wall, and just see if it sticks or not.
That's the number one thing too. Is that if you guys go out to this thing, which is fun, you might hear some of the same jokes. But the way they say it, they're going to say it the same way, because they are refining their own craft.
Yeah, they're trying to like the lead time, how long they draw it out, all those different angles. Just give them practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm all for it. I love local comedy. It's always been fun. But I have talked about having the comics come on and just do like a little preliminary
on here
kind of ad. Yeah,
on here.
Yeah, that way you can hear them before you come and see them.
Hey, I'm cool with that. So even if they're like that a statement, we'll do a Zoom or something, or somehow get them.
Yeah.
But we don't want to hear. We want to hear their entire act, but at least get a little stuff. So then they can come on.
So my traveling acts, they
blow
have
their mind.
They have 6 or 7 different lines of jokes. I mean,
Good. I don't.
They're not going to take.
I'm still working on my first.
That's
one.
why they're professionals, and you're still on the
radio. Womp. We got a few things that we're going to talk about on the next episode. I think we're going to wrap this one up though. Because that's going to go on our next one. That right there. All right. So any shout outs?
Shout outs. I'd love this shout out, Dave Weiss. Today he's a
the
VIP.
Man.
He's a VIP at my brewery, but today his last day of working. He's going on retirement.
Heck yeah! Congratulations, Dave.
Yeah, him and Joanne have also kind of like rumored like they'd like to do some tap house type stuff, maybe at the brewery in his retirement thing. But great guy. He worked for the Department of Revenue for a long ass time. He's the woodman. He can go on any woodlot and look around and tell you what it's worth. And
really?
He's pretty on nuts. Too. Yeah. He's good.
He is really nice. I'll shout out Joanne, his wife.
Yeah. She's an amazing lady too.
She's great too.
Super
So I like Risa, her daughter, and I think I work with Rachel. But Risa is like, she got my first nickname. She was the first person to make fun of me in my life that I can remember. Okay.
Perfect.
So Risa said that she called me Gopher Boy. Back when I was like in second grade.
Go for it.
Gopher. No, I looked like a gopher. Not a gopher, like a
go for it.
Yeah, and I got
go for it.
Like you go to a job site now, a gopher is
go
goes for it, grabs
it,
this, grabs that. No, I looked like a gopher, which isn't nice.
Okay.
And then I thought she hated me until I started working at the place I'm working at, and and I met Rachel, her sister, and her sister said. I said, I think
that's her hitting on you.
I said, no. I said, I think she hated me. And she's like, why? And I'm like, well, because she used to call me Gopher Boy. And so she asked Risa, and Risa said, oh, no, I had a huge crush. So everyone that's listening out there that is like under the age of 12.
Yay, Travis had somebody that liked him.
No, this is a life hack for all those people, all those 12-year-olds and 8-year-olds that are listening to
If
beer.
anybody makes fun of you, they like you.
They like you. That's exactly what's up. Anyway, so I sat with Joanne the other day and actually Dave, and we had some beers over at Cole Street as well.
Yeah, Joanne, and then Jennifer and John are also...
sure.
They're also VIPs too.
Yeah. And then anyway, they're fun. They're a fun group. In fact, if you ever want to talk poker, if you ever want to just sit there and talk poker for like 4 hours with anyone, Dave's the one to do it.
Why talk? Why not just play?
Play too, but I mean, he's got stories.
Put your money in the. I don't know. Put your money in the pit and then
just do it.
Then we'll talk while we're playing.
While we're playing.
Well, I'm taking your money away.
Yeah. Have you played Dave in poker?
I've never played poker in my life. I don't gamble.
Okay.
I'm new to this.
Right.
Like,
I think we're moving on.
You're
trying to take some money from me.
I have seen cards over in the corner over there.
Yeah, you're trying to take some money from me.
I have a couple dollar bills in my pocket.
I got some too. We play some dice too. We roll some dice. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Hey, go check out Cole Street, 1627 Cole Street. Please say hi to Sean. We're kicking around ideas on how to give you guys a better discount where people can see it.
Better incentive to come
better
down.
incentive to come on down. If
You
you have
listen to the show, stop by and say that you listen to BrewHaha. And
exactly, we would love that you take yourself into it. Wear a shirt. If you wear a Full Buddy Cast shirt, you wear the BrewHaha shirt. If somehow you get one of those, that is another thing that you just walk right in. You're a walking billboard. Of course, you're going to get 10% off at Cole Street. So, and then also,
if you're wearing the shirt, I'll give you 15% off.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm. For sure. If you're wearing the shirt, if you have a Full Buddy Cast or a BrewHaha shirt, I'll give you 15% off.
That's huge.
If you come in and just shout out like, "Hey, I listen to BrewHaha," we'll give you 10%.
I like that.
That's still a good
sell
deal.
some shirts now.
But
I like this. I like this. Sean, you're a great guy. I'd like to shout out Sean as well. All right, everyone, thanks so much for listening. Have a great week. This is Monday morning to start your week off right. Thank you for listening to BrewHaha.
Why don't
Have
you
a great
put
week.
your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew ha ha. Cole Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?